So friends, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Satish Kumar. I have been working with the corporates for last 18 years. And we have started a initiative basically. We are also giving training to the corporate employees who works in the corporate companies and all, right? So we are training them of Excel training. So what we have initiated, we are just whoever needs Excel and not able to just reach out to the correct person, or some has like they are not able to find out where they can just find the best Excel training, and sometimes they stuck while working in Excel. They face some difficulties and issues and problems, and they stuck while working. So we are here to help them out. So let's start it without wasting any of time. So if you have seen our yesterday's video session, so we have covered sum function. Basically, what does the sum do? And today we are going to cover count function. What does the count do, and what is the meaning of count function? How does the count function works? So let me just tell you something about it. How does the count function works? Count function basically counts the number of items or number of elements available in a data set range. It counts the number and give you the result. And its main purpose is to find the duplicate values within your data range. So whatever data range you have, you can find out the duplicate values. The number of times a particular item or element is given in your data range, right? So let's begin with its practical example. Let's see. So this is the same data set range which we used yesterday. So we are using this one today as well. So we have already mentioned the functions, so which we are going to cover in this session. So first is the count function. What is count is going to do for you? So we have some postal code criteria, right? So what we need to do, we have postal codes in our data. So what we need to find out? We need to find out. So while the customer were making orders, someone made. Can I ask someone to mute yourself, please? So right. So some customers, what they did, some of them have mentioned the proper address, the address, city, state, country, and their postal codes, everything. But some of them have not mentioned their postal code. So here we need to find out there were how many customers who mentioned their postal codes, right? These are the postal codes. So how we do that? So we put the basic Excel symbol sign, which is a count function, start the bracket. Now what we'll do, we'll select the entire dataset range. So we have selected the entire dataset range and close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. So what Excel has done for you here? So Excel has calculated the total number of postal codes mentioned in your data in this particular data set, right? It has calculated all the numbers and excluded the blank cells. Whatever the blank cell, it has not calculated these blank cells, right? So next is the CountA function. What is the difference between count and CountA function? So there is a very big difference. We can't say the slight difference, but there is a big difference between these two. Count function, let me just explain it to you first. Count function basically counts the numbers only, numbers data type, as we spoke about in yesterday's session, the number data type. That's why it was important to share all the data types information with you. So count function counts the number data type, and CountA function, A stands for all. CountA counts everything, whatever there is in your data, it will count and give you the result, right? So how does it work? So we'll put a CountA function, start the bracket, go back to our data, select. Now in this case, we can select anything. So we have selected this entire data set range, close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. So if you see, we have 51,291 records in this particular data set range. What Excel has done, it has counted this first row as well, row header, basically column headers. So if we do not want to include this, what we can do, there is a simple thing, we can just deduct one out from it. So if you see, we have 51,290 records in this particular data set, right? This is how CounTA function works. So next is the CountIF function. So now conditional statements comes again. So CountIF function basically counts any number based on a criteria, right? Based on a criteria which we provide to it in the conditional statement. So here what we want to calculate, we want to know as we have the order detail, so we want to know how many orders were made by Mick Brown, right, in this example. So we need to calculate that. So what we'll do, we'll put the CountIF function, start the bracket. Now this is going to be our range. Just give me a second, please. Okay, fine. So this is now, if you see, can you see these options which are visible in the function, the range and the criteria?
Yes.
Right. So Excel gives this option to us so that to basically make the function easy to understand. So that's why. So here, if you see, we need to select the range. So what is a range? So we need to find. So our criteria is customers, correct? So what we'll do, we'll select the entire customer dataset range. So here it's in column G. So we can do, we can just select the specific data set range. This is a basically specific, we have specified the range here, or either we can just select the entire column, because we know that there is no record after this particular record, last record, right? So we can just do it in either way. So what we are doing, we are just selecting the specific data range, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Now if you see, the Excel is asking you to put the criteria. Now, what is the criteria? Mick Brown is a criteria, basically the customer. So selected the criteria, close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. So there were 71 orders which were made by Mick Brown. Similarly, we can just count other order numbers also for Aaron Bergman and Naresh Patel by using this CountifS function, right? So next is the CountifS function. As I told you in yesterday's session, the difference between sum and SumIfS. The similar difference is here with CountifS and CountifS. CountifS works with the single criteria, right? And CountifS works with the multiple criteria. And number of criteria you can use. Maximum, it is said that maximum 14 you can use. Maximum 14 criteria you can use in a particular function, whether it could be SumIfS or CountifS. So CountifS works with the multiple criteria. So right, what we need to find out here, basically we have product type and customer's name. So here's, we have the Mick Brown. So we want to know how many phones Mick Brown orders basically. You know, how many, there were how many orders of phones which Mick Brown made. So what we'll do, we'll put the CountifS function. So I selected it, start the bracket. Now you see Excel is asking you to select the criteria range, the first criteria range, right? So our first criteria range is going to be a customer name. So we go back to our data set. Now select the customer name. So this is the customer name column. So you have selected it from the row number 2 to row number 5 to 191. And we have selected it, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Now what Excel is asking is to select the first criteria. For what is our first criteria? Customer name is our first criteria, right? Put the comma. Now again Excel is asking you to put a second criteria basically. Now what is the second criteria? Product type. So it will it will find. So it will be found in the product type column. So here it is, the product type column. Here it is, column Q. So we have selected this specific data set range. Put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Now what we'll do, we'll select this particular criteria of phones. Close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. So there were only 6 orders of phones made by Mick Brown, right? This is how a CountifS function works. And as I told you that it works with the multiple criteria. You can just put it n number of criteria here. It depends on your requirement. What is your requirement? What do you want to calculate? Correct. So second is the minimum, MinIFs and MaxIFs. So these are also some part of the, not part of the advanced function, but are important sometimes you may require to, calculate the numbers, the minimum lowest amount or lowest value you want to calculate, the maximum value, whatever it could be. Whenever you're working in Excel, the criteria or the situation changes very frequently. You do not know that what type of queries may come to you to solve, basically. So you need to know everything, because Excel is very vast. So right here, what we are going to calculate, we are using the minimum function. By using minimum function, we want to calculate the lowest sales amount out of our data. So right. So what we'll do, we'll put the minimum sign. We do not need to put the entire minimum keyword. We just put the first 3 letters of minimum keyword, which is MIN. Start the bracket. Now what we'll do, we'll select the entire data set, range this, not the sale, as we wanted to know the lowest sales amount. We select, either we can select the entire column because we know that there is no data after the last record, or either we can just select, give it a specific data range. So we have selected the specific data range and close the bracket, hit the enter, we get over. So this was the lowest sales amount, right, in our records. Now the next is the MinIF function. What MinIF does for you, MinIFs. So MinIFs basically find the lowest value based on criteria. So as S is here, if you see S, so you can use multiple criteria. Correct? You can use multiple criteria in this example, in this function. So what we are going to do, we have selected the MinIFs. Now what is the minimum range? As we want to calculate the minimum sales amount, so we'll select this sales range. We have selected it, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Excuse me. Can you mute yourself, please? Hello. Okay. So just let me just do it again. MinIFs. So what we need to select first, minimum range. So minimum range is, because range is going to be a value, so we need to select the value first. So this is a value range basically. We have put the comma, go back to previous sheet. If you see, Excel is asking you to select the first criteria range. So what is going to be a first criteria range? So China, because as China is country, so we want to know the lowest sales amount from China. So what we need to do, we need to select the entire country column. Either we can select the entire entry column, or we can select the specific data range. So we are selecting the specific data set range. So we have selected it, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Now we need to select the criteria, close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. So this was the lowest sales amount basically made from China, $4.80. So in this similar way, you can just put the multiple criteria, depends on requirement, right? So next is the max function. What does the max do for you? In the other terms, max finds the maximum value, the highest value within your data. Whichever the highest value, it will give you extract and give you the result. So what we'll do, we'll put the max keyword, start the bracket, go back to previous sheet. Now select, as we want to calculate the maximum sales amount, we select that this particular data set range, close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. So this was the maximum highest sales amount basically in our records, correct? So next is the MaxIFs. So as I told you, S comes here. So S means multiple conditions, multiple criteria you can provide in the function. So what we need to do, we need to put the MaxIFs. We have selected it, max range. So we are going to find out the sales. So we have selected the sales range, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Now we need to select the first criteria range. So what is our first criteria? The customer. So we want to calculate the highest sales amount made by Mick Brown of phones. There were multiple orders of phones which were made by Mick Brown. So we wanted to know the highest one, right? So we need to select the criteria range first. So first criteria range will be customer name. So this is going to be a customer name. We have selected it, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Now we need to select the criteria one. What is going to be a criteria? This Mick Brown customer. put the comma again. Now you need to select the criteria range 2, which is going to be product type. So now we need to select the product type column. So here it is. We have selected a specific range, put the comma, go back to PV sheet. Now select the second criteria, which is our phones. Close the bracket, hit the enter to get our answer. So this is how MaxIFs works. Right? What we have calculated the highest sales amount of particular order of phones made by Mikram. Correct? In the similar way, you can calculate other numbers as well. Now the large function. It is also very important. Max provides you the highest sales amount and minimum provides you the lowest amount, right? In your range. So what large does? Large basically finds the kth number. What is the kth number? Kth means suppose we need to find out the 5th largest, 2nd largest, 3rd largest, or 10th largest out of our data. So we want to calculate that number out of our data. How we'll do that? We'll use the large function in that case. So we need to put the large function keyword, start the bracket, go back to previous sheet. As we want to calculate the total sales, we have selected it, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. Here you do not need to put any criteria. You just need to put the kth number, the k number. K is number as we want to calculate the 5th highest profit amount. My bad, I have selected sales column, no problem. So we are going to find the 5th highest sales amount. So I have just put the 5 here, close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. So this was the 5th highest sales amount, right? Of order, any order value. Similar way, we can just calculate the smallest kth number. So how we'll do? We'll use the small function, start the bracket, select the range. Now we select the profit. We have selected it, put the comma, go back to previous sheet. So right, and now as we want to the second lowest sales amount, we put the 2 here, close the bracket, hit the enter to get an answer. So it was in negative. So profit was in negative, we were in loss that time. So there was a order of $4,088, whatever it is, which was made. Right? So now friends, I am going to tell you one more example which is very important. So you must be working with the multiple sheets, right? In your day-to-day Excel work, you might be working with the multiple sheets and multiple workbooks. So someone asks you to just calculate the total sales or any salary or whatever in your data. To want to calculate the ask you to just calculate the entire sales amount. Suppose we have that sales order. So we have data from 2012 to 15 in different sheets, multiple sheets we have, like 12, 13, 14, 15. So now if I ask you to just calculate the total sales from 2012 to 2015, not for any particular year, from 2012 to 2015, we have just taken only 4 sheets to just show you the example. It could be much higher or higher in number in your case, right? So what we need to calculate, we know that in this case the data we have is similar, the format is similar, right? The columns are similar, the rows can be different, it doesn't matter, but columns and the format are same. 2012 we had 25 columns, and in this case we also had 225 columns. So in all the data we have 25 columns. The order data which we have all have the similar data basically for all the years. So now what we need to calculate the total sales amount. So if you see, we have sales in column S. So what we'll do, we know that in all the sheets the sales is in column S, right? How do we do that? So there is a function called SheetName. You do not need to put any criteria or any number in it. Close the bracket, hit the enter, you get the number result. Basically, what Excel has given you, whatever the sheets available in your workbook, it will give you the names of those particular sheets, worksheets basically. So in this case, we have total 5 sheets. So first is the custom function basically, that's why it is given this one, you can ignore it. So what we need these 4 sheets, correct? So how we calculate? Let's see in this next example. The indirect function is going to help you in this case. So we'll use the again SheetName function here. Start with the enter get our answer columns. So now we know that entire sales amount is in column S in all the sheets. So right, what we'll do, we'll put the reference in a cell reference basically in this way. So what we are going to do, we are selecting the entire data set range, like not giving it any specific range, because we do not know that which is going to be the last record, right? It could be here, it could be, we do not know the exact row basically. So we are giving it a entire data set range, basically entire column range. So as sales is in all the in S column, so in all the sheets, what we have done. So now what we'll do, we'll put the indirect function. Now this is going to be a first reference and ampersand sign. Now this is a second split. This is going to show a split. Why? I will tell you. I will tell you why. So now we got our result basically, but we can't see it. So what Excel has done for us, it has extracted the entire sales amount, right? Entire sales amount from this 2012, 2013, 14, and 15. But as we selected an entire column, right, from very beginning to 1 to 10,48,576. But because as we are just calculating this number here at row number 33, and it is skipping the these 33 rows before, which are before this particular cell, particular row. So that's why it is giving you a spill error. So how we correct that? So we'll use a sum function in that case. So as we know, this is the sum sales numbers, and these are numbers basically. So it can be calculated. So we'll put the sum, start the bracket, close the bracket, hit the enter, we get our answer. If you see, I just drag it down, Excel is going to give us the result. So with this example, so what we have got, we have got the entire sales value from 2012 to 2013 at one place, without going to each sheet one by one, right? So we have calculated this at one place only. This was important. So friends, we are done with the today's session. So I hope you like the session. I need your feedback, how I am doing. So it will, help me to improve myself, because I have Excel knowledge. I might not have the teaching knowledge basically, but I have the Excel knowledge, so that's why you need to bear with me. So that was this is the only thing which I have in today's session. And if you have any questions, you can just ask me. We are open to take the questions.
Sir, you can share this Excel sheet to us.
Yeah, I will surely share it with you.
Okay, thank you for this.
And I would request you to please get in touch with us. We will be doing the frequent session. So what we have started, as I told you that we have started it, so we'll be doing the frequent session. I'll be informing you. So please get in touch with us.
Yeah, mostly I will try to join that one. If it's not possible, I will follow your links that one. After the class section, you will send for that one. I can join that one. If there is any doubts or anything, I will. In the meeting, I can ask you, and after the practicing that one, or after that one, I will send the message to you.
Yeah, sure. As per your flexibility, as you are feasible, so as you can ask me, I'm there to help you only. So right. And one more thing which I want to show you to you guys. I hope you want to say it. You want to see it? I want to show you something basically what I have developed in Excel. Basically, I have developed something. So if you see, just give me a second. So can you see this window?
Yes, yes.
So I have developed this in Excel only. This is programming. So this with the help of VBA. So if you see, this is entire program, basically small program. If you click, so you will see some example. Suppose you need to select something, you need to extract some data. So I have just designed it in Excel only. So there different things
Yeah,
you
I
can
have
calculate.
I have the question, sir. This is a backend. You maybe some database is needed. There is a we can
Yes,
use the Excel or
yes,
Access.
we can use the Excel only. It is, it is made in Excel only without taking any software helps or any other application. So this
Okay.
is created in Excel only. No other application is used. No other
Excellent.
language, no other language, no other programming language, nothing, only Excel. So you see
Yes.
how Excel powerful is, right?
Yes, that one.
So
Yes, that one.
you can do whatever you want to do with Excel. I love, basically I working, my perspective is I love working in Excel. So that's why.
Actually,
Mhm.
in 2000, I have the very good knowledge in Excel. Now that one, after that one, 18, 20 years that one, I lose that one. I working in the accounts. That one. Earlier, I very good in English, the Excel that time. That time not that much advanced that one. Lot of function I am using, but not that much advanced. Now it's very advanced is going on.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, that one. Thank you for supports and everything, sir.
No, ma'am, I'm always there. You can just ask me anytime. Okay.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Nice.
Bye.
Okay, okay, sir.